have all your props handy. Oh, upper back, okay, got it. So as you take a comfortable seat, just remember that this time of year is when we get to tune into how well we're rooted, how well we're grounded. And so find whatever seat is best for your body, the one that helps you sit comfortably. And then shift around a little bit in your seat, moving your sitting bones, maybe moving through your hips, a little shift through your torso. And then as you let your shoulders move up and back, lengthen up through the back of your neck, close your eyes, and keep your hands pressing into your legs or your lap, however you're sitting. And take a couple deep breaths, giving yourself a chance to notice that contact that you have, that connection that you have with the ground. Then connect hands together at heart center, pressing palm against palm, lifting up and open through your shoulders, lengthen the back of your neck. Take a full deep inhale here, lengthening even more. Exhale, bow toward your heart. Then as you softly open your eyes, release your hands down. And again, give a little press and take your gaze to the ground. As you press down, look down at what you have contacting the ground. So maybe that's your legs or just your feet, or maybe it's your sitting bones. But as you notice it, press down a little bit more. So engage the muscles of your legs, maybe press a little deeper through your feet. Press through your sitting bones. It takes a little engagement through the glutes to do that. And then keep your gaze down, turn your palms open, and even think of reaching toward the ground sideways. And as you draw your shoulder blades onto your back, start to lift your gaze upward toward the ceiling. And as you lift your gaze, keep the back of your neck long, even though your chin is tilted upward. Take a full big breath. You're going to keep your palms turning out here and reaching sideways toward the ground as you take some half circles. So chin drops over to the right side, up and over toward the ceiling, and then down to the left side. You take a couple of these. Just notice the length on the opposite side from where your chin is. And even think about allowing that opposite shoulder blade to re-engage onto your back. Then come back into center with your head and your neck. Inhale, reach your arms up overhead. Clasp hands above your head if that's comfortable. You can always come to the steeple fingers here or just clasp, whichever feels the best. Pull up so that your arms are hugging by your ears, but then draw a little space at the top of your shoulders. Think of moving the tops of your shoulders broad. Take a big inhale, lift your chest up higher, heart up higher, little tiny back bend. And exhale, release your fingertips back down to the ground. Work your fingertips back behind you, push down, and lift up and open through your chest. And as you lift up and open through your chest, think of expanding your front ribs, letting your heart space lift. Shoulder blades are engaged. And then engage your low belly and your low ribs. Inhale, lift your chest up a little higher. And exhale, engage again. Low belly, low ribs. Then inhale, rise back up to a tall spine. Take your hands in front to clasp, pull forward with your arms, and round back through your upper back, moving in the opposite direction for yourself. Chin tucks in. Add a little bit of movement here through your sides. Then inhale, sit tall, switch the cross of your legs, coming to the less comfortable cross for yourself. Shift your sitting bones. And again, press down with your hands on your legs. Take your gaze down to whatever is contacting the ground and take a full big breath. Move your hands up a little higher on your thighs, maybe even all the way up into your hip creases and press. And then move them back down towards your knees and press. And just move up and down your legs a couple of times with this action of helping yourself to root or ground. And then as you lift your shoulders up and back, long through the back of your neck, turn your palms up and come to that gratitude place with your arms. And now tilt your head so your right ear is coming to your right shoulder. Re-engage your left shoulder blade and even re-rotate your left arm. Taking a couple big deep breaths into your left side of your neck, your chest. And then tuck your chin slightly downward in toward your chest here with that tilt of your head. Take another full deep breath. Inhale back up to center. Exhale, left ear over to your left shoulder. And again, re-engage your right shoulder blade. Re-rotate your right arm. Take a big full breath and notice the length of the side of your neck, that opening and expansion through your chest. And then tuck your chin down and take another deep breath. And then lifting back up through your head, little pulses with your arms, feeling shoulder blades engage and release a few times. And then hands come in front to clasp again and extend forward, round back through your upper back, coming into that cat-like pose, chin tucks in. Take a deep breath. Then inhale, sit tall and shift forward onto hands and knees. And from hands and knees, take just a moment to set yourself up, wrists under shoulders, knees under hips. Tucking toes under, push with your hands and rotate upper arm bones so elbow pits are turning forward. Lift your hips up and back for your downward facing dog pose and take just 3 breaths here. And while you take those 3 breaths, pedal out with your legs, bending one knee at a time. And then walk your way forward, take as many steps as you need. Feel free to move through hands and knees to get there if you would like. Feet are inner hip distance apart and parallel. And if you'd like, you can take them wider here. Sometimes it's easier on the low back and hips. But lift and spread your toes and then push down with your toes and then find even balance on your feet. So you have the fronts and the backs of your feet feeling evenly pressed. Inhale, lengthen part way, extend through your heart. Exhale, fold over your legs. Inhale, lengthen, grow long, send your sitting bones up. And then walk your way up your legs with your hands, coming all the way up to stand. And from this place, turn open with your palms, little bend to your knees. Use your glutes to support you. Squeeze in and push down to stand taller. Take an inhale, stretch up overhead. Exhale, bent knees to fold over your legs. Inhale and lengthen part way. Exhale and fold. Plant your fingertips, step your right foot back into your lunge. Take a big deep breath, center off your hips and extend through your heart. Full deep inhale, long full exhale. And then work your hands to the inside, pivot on your feet, coming to a wide stance fold just for a moment. Keep long through your spine and pedal out just a couple times on each side, bending one knee at a time, sending your sitting bones up. And then walk your hands toward the front of your mat, step all the way back, downward facing dog pose, take a full deep breath. As you root down with your hands, rotate elbow pits forward, and from your lats, push out into the floor. Inhale, come forward into your plank. And from your plank, feel free to bring your knees down if you want to, but keep your elbow pits rotating forward and push. Extend your heart. And now instead of lowering down, we're going to practice pushing. So push again so much that you feel that space in between your shoulder blades puff up, and then extend your heart more. Push again and extend your heart. Now notice your knees or your toes and push so much that your upper thighs want to lift, and then root your tailbone. Pull in just a little bit with your low belly. Take one more big breath right here and push knees or toes and hands. On your exhale, downward facing dog or hands and knees, your choice. Take a deep breath. And then walk your way forward, coming into your forward fold at the front of your mat. Take an inhale and lengthen part way. Look at your feet, lift and spread your toes, and then push with your toes. Exhale, fold over your legs. Plant your fingertips. You can use blocks again here if you would like. Step your left foot back into your lunge and take a deep breath. Center with your hips, extend your heart. Deep, full inhale, long, deep exhale. And now walk hands to the inside and pivot to the second side, finding that wide stance fold facing the left. Feet are parallel to each other, so think of pinky toe edges parallel. Lift and spread your toes here, extend your heart. Exhale, root down with your toes and fold over your legs. Full big breath, sending your sitting bones up. Keep that little bend to your knees. Inhale and lengthen, extend your heart. And exhale, pivot toward the front of your mat. Step all the way back, downward facing dog pose. Take a deep breath. Rotate elbow pits forward and push. Grow longer, send your sitting bones up. Inhale, come forward into your plank pose. And again, knees can always come down here if you would like. Rotate elbow pits forward. Push, expand into your upper back and extend your heart forward. Take a deep breath. Pull in with your low belly. Now on your exhale, try to push and bend your elbows. Stay pushing even as you lower down all the way to your belly. Now press your hands down right beside your ribs. Press down with your feet and your knees, and then engage your low belly. Now as you push into the ground with whatever is touching it, lift up as high as your body is ready for, coming into your cobra pose. Take a full big breath. Now tucking toes under, push through your hands and your feet, rising all the way up to either hands and knees or down dog. Take a big deep breath. And then walk your way forward, coming into your forward fold at the front of your mat. Lift and spread your toes and then root them down. Take an inhale and lengthen part way. Exhale and fold over your legs. Inhale, lengthen part way, and walk your hands all the way up your thighs to rise up to stand. And now from your standing position, find feet inner hip distance if they're not there yet. And then lift and spread your toes, and as you root down, feel the fronts of your feet and the backs of your feet evenly pressing. And even more so, feel the front part of your heel pressing. And now shift your weight over to your left foot, turn your right toes sideways, your knee sideways, and start to engage through your glute, wrapping down and under to help your knee open. Now standing leg, give your knee a bend, squeeze your glute and push into the floor, and then bring your foot wherever you need it to be on the side of your leg, up high, down low. It can stay a kickstand if you want. Wherever that feels best to you, give a little bend to your knee again. and push into the floor. Stand tall, and if you'd like to, you can stretch up. You can have your hands at your heart or hands at your hips, your choice. Take a big, deep breath. Good. On your next exhale, release your foot back to the ground and come to an even balance with your feet. Samastitihi. Noticing the fronts and the backs of your feet evenly pressing, turn open with your palms. Close your eyes and take a deep breath. And now softly open your eyes, shift your weight over to your right foot. Turn your left toes sideways as you turn open with your left knee. Little bend to your standing knee. Squeeze your glute and push, lift your chest. From that place, bring your foot wherever you would like it to be on the side of your leg. High, low, somewhere in between, just not resting on the knee joint. And now hands to your hips this time. Your hips are your focal point here where we get to root from our hips down into the floor. So with your hands pressing, bend your knee, squeeze your standing glute and push to stand taller. Shoulders up and back, lengthen the back of your neck. Take one more big breath here. Good. Gently set your foot back on the ground and feel the four corners of your feet pressing. Hands together at your heart. Close your eyes. Take a deep inhale. Long, full exhale. Inhale, stretch up overhead. Exhale, fold over your legs. Inhale and lengthen part way. Exhale and fold. Plant your fingertips. Step your right foot back into your lunge. Push into your feet. Bring your hands up to your hips to rise. Center off with your hips. And with your hands on your hips again, push. As you push, push your toes down and your heel down on your front foot. And feel just a little elevation here. Now, bring your hands to gratitude or arms to gratitude, elbows hugging in, opening through your chest. Take a full big breath. Good. Keep your arms in this position. Turn and plant your back heel, turning your torso and your hips toward the right side. Take your gaze over your left hand and out in front of you. Take a full big breath. As you exhale, bring hands down to the front of your mat. Tuck your back toes and step all the way back, downward facing dog pose. Take a deep breath. As you find that deep press from lats out through your hands, lift your sitting bones up even higher. And now push through the balls of your feet. Think of lifting sitting bones even more. And inhale, come forward into your plank. Knees on the ground if you would like. Rotate elbow pits. Push your hands, push your knees or toes, and exhale, lower down. Inhale, curl up and open into your cobra. Maybe rise up a little higher into more of an up dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Full deep inhale, long full exhale. And then walk your feet forward, coming into your forward fold at the front of your mat. Take an inhale and lengthen part way. Exhale and fold. Plant fingertips. You're stepping left foot back into your lunge this time. Push your feet down and then bring your hands up to your hips to rise, centering with your hips. And then find, let's do goal post this time. Elbows come up to 90 degrees. And if your shoulders are pretty tight here, if you have anything going on, then you're welcome to come back to gratitude. But 90 degrees, if that's in your practice, move your elbows back in space. Your chest will move forward here. And then engage low belly, low ribs. Inhale, lift your chest up a little higher. And as you exhale, turn and plant your back heel, opening it up to that warrior two variation with your goalpost arms. Take a full big breath, opening your front knee and settling in. Open up through your chest here, drawing your low belly and your low ribs in to support your back body. Deep breath. Exhale, hands come down to the front of your mat. Tuck your back toes and settle back onto your hands and knees. And then child's pose. Full deep inhale, long, full exhale. So you take 3 more deep breaths here. Notice what's happening with your body and the ground. Notice the contact. Notice the expansion with your breath. And then push all the way up to a seat and come down onto sitting bones. And now we're going to take a wide stance with our legs here, or a wide seat, I should say. And so if you want to, you can shift your position with your mat. You can always come sideways to your mat. So you're going to take your legs out wide. We did a couple of wide folds from standing. So let's check it out from our seat. We haven't done this pose in a long time. So shift your sitting bones, move them back and broad. And then just remember that the width of your legs has everything to do with the opening of your hips, and very specifically where your hip sockets are. So it really doesn't have anything to do sometimes with flexibility, but it has more to do with the actual bone structure of your pelvis. So take your legs to where it's right for you. You might end up putting maybe a rolled up blanket underneath the knee or a pillow. You can always give yourself a little bit of support here, okay? So now, as you flex your feet and pull your toes back, press your heels down. This will give your knees a little bit of support. Now, think of your sitting bones pressing down. Take your hands to your hip creases and press down, even as you push your heels down and keep your knees a little lifted. From this place, tilt your pelvis so that your belly is coming a little forward, and then maybe work your hands to just in front of you. And you can always take them up high onto something if you want to. Take a big, deep inhale, long, full exhale. And then as you take a couple more deep breaths, maybe begin to take a fold. As you hinge from the hips, remember that you're long through your spine, keeping a good rooting action of your sitting bones and your heels. Full deep inhale, lengthen, long, full exhale. Maybe you work down a little further into your fold. Maybe you take in what's going on and decide to rise up a little bit. Find where that is for you. And now right hand to the inside of your right knee, left hand to your hip, and turn your belly and your heart to the left side. Keep your heels pressing. Keep your belly drawing a little bit forward. Shoulder blades on your back. And then maybe you stretch your left arm over your ear. Full deep breath. Inhale, rise all the way back up. You're taking left fingertips to the floor inside your left knee. Right hand to your hip. As you turn your belly and your heart to the right side, again, engage both shoulder blades. Find that tilt of your pelvis, and then maybe stretch your right arm. Take a big, deep breath. Then inhale, rise all the way back up. You use your hands underneath your knees to bring your legs in, working your footprints to the floor. And then we're going to make our way all the way down onto our backs. So as you find your way down onto your back, pull your knees up close to your chest and rock a few times side to side. Give yourself that information of whatever is happening through your back body. And then as you come back into center here, you're bringing soles of feet together into your butterfly. And if it feels good, you can hold on to your feet with your hands. You could always take your strap or your blanket around your feet for support here. But then open up with your knees as much as your body is ready for. Think of reaching straight out to the side with your thighs. And then tilt your pelvis so that you have a little lift through your low back. Take a deep breath. And now bring your knees back into center, extend your legs straight up. And as you extend your legs straight up, you'll notice that maybe you have a little tightness in low back or tightness through hamstrings. So maybe you keep a little bend to your knees. Okay, so wherever that is for you, find a tilt of your pelvis again. So maybe your low back has a chance to lift a little. From that place, open your legs up wide. You can take your hands to support on the underside of your legs here, if that's in your practice. Reaching out through your heels, take a big deep breath. And then bend your knees as you bring your legs back up to center. Squeeze your knees in close. And then release your footprints to the ground. Walk your feet out wider than your mat and just take a couple of gentle windshield wipers. A little movement of knees to one side and then to the other side a couple times. And then set yourself up into your best resting pose, whatever that looks like for you. And if you could use a little extra grounding, we did a lot of grounding action today in our practice, but if grounding feels good to you right now, then maybe take a blanket over your hips or completely over you. Take some big deep breaths as you start to settle in and begin to notice that contact that you have with the ground. Begin to take a deeper breath. Gently add a little movement into fingers and into toes. And as you're ready to bend your knees and roll to one side. And then slowly push yourself back up to your seat. And then with your hands coming together at heart center, take a moment to close your eyes and take a full deep breath, letting yourself sense from root to crown, whatever is present for you. Have a very peaceful, very beautiful rest of your day. Namaste. Thanks, you guys.